Okay, Volume 4, The Bible Story. My book has David and Goliath on the front. And we are at our last story in this book. It says Part 4, Story 8, From Bad to Worse. So it says. In the north kingdom of Israel, things were going from bad to worse. After Jeroboam died, his son Nadab took the throne. But he was as bad as his father, and did evil in the sight of the Lord. Nadab didn't last long, barely 2 years. Then a man named Baasha, 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 rebelled against him, killed him, and took his throne. To make sure that no other son of Jeroboam would try to take the kingdom away from him, Baasha smote all the house of Jeroboam. He left not any that breathed, just as Ahiah the prophet had said would happen. Baasha reigned 24 years, but didn't any better. He wasn't any better than Jeroboam. He did evil in the sight of the Lord, even though God did not send the prophet Jehu to warn him of what. Wait, even though God did send the prophet Jehu, Jehu, to warn him of what would happen to him if he refused to mend his ways. When Baasha died, his son Elah, E-L-A-H, Elah came to the throne and reigned 2 years. He was a drunkard, and Zimri, Zimri, captain of half of the king's chariots, conspired against him and slew him. Zimri made himself king, but held the throne only 7 days, during which time he killed all the relatives of Baasha. While he was busy doing this, the people of Israel made Omri, Omri, Omri king, Omri. Omri and his men marched on the capital of Tirzah, Tirzah, and where Zimri was living, and captured it. And when Zimri saw the city was taken, and of course these are Canaanites, he went to the palace of the king's house, and the king's house over him, and burnt the king's house over him with fire, and died. That was the end of Zimri, but Omri's troubles were not over yet. Another man, Tibni, Tibni, rose up and drew half the people after him. So there were more fighting until Tibni died and Omri reigned. Then it has a picture right here of some building being destroyed. I don't see any signature in it. Okay, and let's get back to the story. Okay. Omri was king 12 years. During his reign, he did one thing of great importance. He bought a hill for 2 talents of silver and built a city on it. He called this city Samaria and moved his capital there. It was a great chance, Samaria, city of Samaria, and moved his capital there. It was a great chance to start all over again. Everything was new and clean and beautiful. All that was evil, all that belonged to the bad old days, could have been left behind. Yet while 2 talents of silver could buy a hill, they couldn't make it holy. They could buy houses and land, and maybe a new palace for the king, but no peace and righteousness. Something more had needed was needed for that, and nobody had it. When Omri died, Ahab, his son, reigned in his stead. And it came to pass, as if it had been a light thing for him to walk into the sin, been a light thing for him to walk in the sins of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, that he took to wife Jezebel, the daughter of Ethbal, that's what it says, Ethball, king of the Zimrites, the Zidonians, and went to serve Baal and worship him. And he reared up an altar to Baal in the house of Baal, which he had built in Samaria. And Ahab did more to provoke the Lord God of Israel to anger than all the kings of Israel that were before him. Thus, 50 years after the death of Solomon, the people of Israel had completely turned their backs on God. Their king was an idolater, their queen a heathen, and their capital city boasted a temple of Baal. Something could not things could not have okay. Things could not have been much worse. The stage was set for the coming of Elijah with a J, the prophet. And then it has a picture of them with a ball worshiping. And there's the artist rendering. And that is the last page. And we have the inside. Same as the first. And then the back of the book, of course, the Philistine army. So that was volume 4 of the Bible story. So that's the end of volume 4, and we're going to end this, and then we'll get ready for the next one. See you in a bit.